Hey, happy after Christmas holiday day. How you doing? Thank you for joining me this morning and waking up early to go ahead and join with me in going through Proverbs. Proverbs definitely is life-changing as it just gives straight out instructions. If you're seeking good advice, and you should always be seeking good advice. This is the one for you. So, thank you for joining me. Wherever you are in the world, thank you so much for coming. It's early morning for me, cold, winter. It is what it is. If you're joining me in the afternoon, if you're joining me in the evening, be right before you go to bed, on your way to work, whatever it is. Thank you for joining me. Welcome on this journey. We are on day 87, Proverbs 13 through 14 in the ESV. Here we go. Verse 13, whoever despises the word brings destruction on himself, but he who reveres the commandment will be rewarded. The teaching of the wise is a fountain of life, that one may turn away from the snares of death. Here we go. Whoever despises the word brings destruction on himself. He who reveres the commandments will be rewarded. The teaching of the wise, the teaching of the wise is a fountain of life, which is interesting that one may, I'm going to use a different um green, darker green, but let's do this just for the sake of okay. So the structure of this is pretty interesting because verse 13 follows the same structure as whether it's positive or negative, like wicked or righteous in the first time. This one starts with with the wicked. Whoever despises the word, obviously it's referring to people who are wicked, people who are not following Christ, people who are doing their own thing. They get destruction on themselves. And then yellow goes for the righteous. Reveres command will be rewarded. And seems to follow the same pattern where it goes either positive, negative, negative, positive, or positive, negative, negative, positive. So, or it goes positive, negative, positive. So those are the standard three different ways in which the double verses are organized. But this one's interesting because verse 14 doesn't do a positive, negative. It's kind of like going what other benefit does it. So that's why I do the dark green. The teaching of the wise is a fountain of life. That one may turn away. So it's like, is a fountain of life. This is what it means. It keeps you away from death. So that's basically what it is. So I'll go ahead and let me go with I did have an initial kind of reaction to this. That's fine. And then I did my commentaries right there. I was pretty close. I was pretty close to what the verses were about. And it's basically it. If you're despising words of wisdom, and they're talking about words of wisdom, I guess if I look up the Greek, where's it the Hebrew? I'm pretty sure it's the Greek. It's referring to wise words. If you're despising wise words, or despising instruction, like not listening to, turning away from, not paying attention to, that's destruction. Basically, you're choosing not to listen to the words, and it's the destruction that you get is of your own choosing. There's no other fault to be had other than yourself. It is your fault for the things that happen to you because people who love you and trying to help you and all kind of stuff is giving you words of advice to follow, and yet you're not listening to that, and that's your fault completely. And you will bring destruction on yourself, or the thing that may happen, that's the advice that's happening, will happen to you. The percentages grow up immensely if you're not listening. The immense of failure, the immense of destroying yourself, all those things go up more. And I guess I could liken that to my children. My children are a really good example because they are the people who are forming into adults, forming into wise people who will be um, members, constructive and efficient or productive members of society. And one of the things they do is they don't want to listen to our instructions, and actually it hurts. It hurts because we're so used to we are born into sin nature because of Adam, and so we naturally want to rebel. And so what happens when you do not follow instructions is um the refrigerator door is open, you spoil food. Um Put the cap on the milk. Uh-oh, it's all over the ground. Watch where the cup is. It might fall. We go, uh-oh, cup. It's too close to you. You might hit it, which happens many times. Uh-oh. Turn off the burner. You might burn something and the pan gets messed up. So all these things, if you're not working, it just you destroy things, and you could also destroy yourself. Um, Words you say, the way your relationship with others happens. So since I have four children, they're constantly trying to interact with each other in different ways, positive and negative. And so they're learning. And if the people who are instructing them, like as parents, their parents, like myself, they're not listening to us, then yeah, they'll get consequences for doing saying unkind words to each other, stealing from each other, not asking permission, those kind of things. It destroys relationships, destroys themselves. So that's paves the way for future interactions with other people. So do not despise wise instructions from people who know what they're talking about, which is the main thing. But he who reveres those commands and listens to those commands, which is the second part of verse 13, yeah, obviously they'll be rewarded. Listen to your boss, looking at procedures, the way in which you're going. We're not saying those things to kind of be powerful over you or saying how great you are. We're just telling you how it is. It's facts. So when you're dealing with facts, you know, just you just it is the thing. So again, um, who you pay attention to and will decide whether or not you'll be successful in the world. So hopefully you have wise people in your life, like people who are able to invest in you. So I had a bunch of them. My discipler, my father was invested in me. Um, Actually, both of my fathers, I had I have a real father. He can't invest in me anymore because he's in hospice care and he doesn't know how to, he can't communicate like a normal person anymore because of his heart attack or something that he had. So when I visit him, it's just to help out and to take care of him a little bit. But we don't have deep conversations about life anymore. But when he was able to do that, he had a lot of advice to say. So, especially with a lot of it has to do with how to be kind and giving, but also that it's important to stay in the Word. It's important to follow Christ was his thing. My stepfather, Rod, uh, who uh, who my mom and him divorced a long time ago, over 10 years ago. He yeah, he told me more about the world and dealing with finances, kind of dealing with finances, and about working hard and being on time and being disciplined and all that kind of stuff. And so, and staying at the table, asking to be excused, those kind of things were sort of his thing that I got from him about being disciplined. So, bless his heart, no longer in my life, unfortunately. And so after that, I had like my youth leaders. I had Lane Wakuda. I had at Oxford people who discipled me. David Matsuda. I had Pastor Steve Langley, and his wife Nancy. These are like parental figures and stuff like that. And my parents, like my mom, my stepmom, these people who kind of invested their life in me, and they had wise words and everything. Even when I got older, like a Stan Terasaki, he invested in me and stuff like that. And I also had uh I would actually other parental figures would be the Banksons, Russ, and oh my gosh, Pat, Patricia Bankson. Those are people who I've looked up to. When I came to NorCal, I met with a man at the church. Well, I don't know why I'm forgetting his name right now, but I think I forced them because there was a sense in me that I needed to be discipled. And so knowing this, I myself became a discipler. So that's the way it is. Chapter 14, verse 14, the teaching of the wise is a fountain of life. Yeah. If you're listening to wise words, especially those who follow Christ, it's life giving. And because of those people in my life, I have a life. I have a life that made me push forward, try my best, not give up, grind it out so that I could go ahead and be in the situation where I am right now. Um, that I may turn away from the snares of death. So I'm living my life because of these people who invested their lives in me, who've been there for me while I was growing up in my formative years, from my youth as a teenager to my young adulthood, and now into my actual adulthood, where I'm raising a family and loving my wife and everything. Yeah, today's actually a special day because today is the last day of sleeping in my old house, because old houses, I had a couple of moves. I lived in Torrance. Uh-oh. Anyways, I lived in Torrance, lived with my in-laws, moved to another place, and now I'm in this current place near my work, place of work. I'm only 3 minutes away from my work, the school that I work at. Now this house is only a three-bedroom. It's kind of small for us because we're growing. Kids are getting older and stuff, and we're also hosting people and stuff like that. So we need a bigger place to be able to do those kind of things. And so we moved into a bigger house, a four-bedroom, twice the size of my current house, and I'm really excited about it. Saddened, because there's a lot of memories here, but I know that God wants us to move on, and He provided this place. And just like all the other places that I found, it was like a 2 week turnaround once we got moving. Like, "Oh, we need to move. Let's look it up." And then we ended up finding a place, and within 2 weeks, "Okay, you can go ahead and get the keys." I was like, "Oh my gosh, we're moving." So maybe like 3 weeks. It was about like a 3 week spread. Hello, my daughter. And so we are go ahead and jump into mom's bed. You can jump into mom's bed, it's warm. And my daughter woke up, and so she's maybe excited like me, or she usually wakes up around this time, so but anyways, I am so glad that I had people in my life to go ahead and do that, because they are life-giving, and now I myself in a position to be life-giving to other people. And so that's what I want to my wife and I wanna do is, be life-giving to other people by providing a space where they could grow and receive instruction and receive teaching and receive discipline. And so that's what our house is gonna be about, on that. I talked to my son, and we negotiated like bathroom stuff and chores, and so that's pretty good to work with my oldest son. He's going to be 14 next month. He's getting older. And he's also thinking about he wants a job and all that kind of stuff. So it's a thing. Um, we want it. And so because you're following the ways of the wise, the things of deceit, destruction, lies, and all that kind of stuff, we turn away from those things so that we could live a life that is full, live a life that is of truth, wise, and integrity look in the description below for the baselines. So yeah, this is a good day, and the next time I'll be doing these videos from day 88 on, it'll be in my new place, and I'll see how that is. Which I'm very excited to be moving and to design my house in the areas the way I want it to be. So that's a place that is uplifting and encouraging and efficient for us as a family. So thank you for joining me on this journey. And yeah, it's a journey that we go on together. That's what it means to be in a community of believers, that we live a life together, like working together and standing together, sitting in the weeds together, and just growing. And that's what we want to do. So thank you for joining me again. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.